Authorities in South Florida are trying to figure out what led a 19-year-old to carry out a deadly mass shooting at a high school he once attended. Officials say Nicholas Cruz killed 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland Wednesday before he was finally apprehended. The school remains closed today, and grief counselors are on hand to help those affected. Wednesday's attack marks the 18th time this year that a firearm has been discharged on school property in the U.S. Everytown for Gun Safety conducts nationwide research on gun violence and policies. According to its research, nearly 300 shootings at middle schools, high schools, and colleges have taken place across the U.S. since 2013. That's an average of one shooting on school grounds every week. At least 9 of the shootings reported this year resulted in injury or death. In other news this morning, the Senate takes one step closer to an immigration solution, but there's still huge hurdles ahead. CNN's John Lawrence reports.
A bipartisan group of senators agreed on an immigration deal Wednesday. CNN obtained a draft of the deal. It offers a pathway to citizenship for nearly 2 million undocumented immigrants who were brought to the U.S. as children. The plan also earmarks $25 billion for border security and trims the number of green cards handed out per year.
The system is our best chance to produce legislation that can pass the House, pass the Senate, and earn the president's signature.
Now the question is, will it get the 60 votes required to advance within the Senate?
It's really going to be an extraordinary moment. I hope we are able to reach an agreement on this, because I think this needs to get done.
Democratic Senator Chris Coons of Delaware says even though there are some hard concessions in the proposal, he will vote yes.
We don't have to agree on everything. We just have to agree on some things, and we can and find a way forward together.
President Trump says he wants a 4-pillar solution, which involves border security, protection for those who receive DACA benefits, an end to the diversity lottery, and a major overhaul of the immigration system.
We all know that immigration is fraught with peril, but this is the closest we've come, and everybody has to make a really final effort.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
And later today, 11 DACA recipients and 15 supporters will start a march from New York City to Washington, D.C. The walk to stay home represents the 11 million undocumented immigrants that live in the U.S. The 15-day march ends with a protest in the nation's capital. Back here in Montana, a Republican and Belgrade businessman who's been running for the U.S. Senate said he's dropping out of the race. Ron Murray has been campaigning since last summer in the crowded field of Republicans vying to take on Democratic U.S. Senator Jon Tester. But in an audio post on his Facebook campaign page yesterday, Murray says he hasn't been able to raise much money, and that's been a problem. Murray says he doesn't believe he has the resources to win the crowded primary, so he's dropping out and endorsing State Senator Al Olszewski of Kalispell. So far, 4 Republicans have filed to compete for their party's nomination to challenge Tester: Olszewski, State Auditor Matt Rosendale, former State District Judge Russell Fagg, and Big Sky businessman Troy Downing. Murray says the media is only interested in the candidates with money, and that he's not a rich guy who can fund his own campaign like other candidates have.
It's great that these guys can, give themselves this kind of money to get things up and going. But at the same time, if we're going to be looking at taking back our country and having fiscal responsibility, these races should not cost millions and millions of dollars. It's absolutely absurd and insane that we are spending that kind of money to win and put into a political race.
The primary election is less than 4 months away on June 5th. On to court news. A previously convicted child molester from Pryor, Montana, who admitted to sexually abusing 2 more young girls, will not spend time in prison for the latest crimes. 66-year-old Raymond Robideau was sentenced in U.S. District Court in Billings Wednesday to a lifetime of supervision. Robideau pleaded guilty in October to abusive sexual contact with a girl under the age of 12 and a girl over the age of 16. He had already been sentenced to prison for molesting a 10-year-old child when information about the 2 additional victims emerged. Prosecutors told the judge Robideau's mental health and physical health issues would be best dealt with outside of prison. Meanwhile, prosecutors will recommend a 10-year prison sentence for a Billings man accused of raping 3 young children. 26-year-old Levi Haydon pleaded guilty in Yellowstone County District Court Wednesday to 2 counts of sexual assault. Prosecutors agreed to dismiss 2 counts of sexual intercourse without consent. Haydon admitted he had sexual contact with 2 girls, ages 3 and 5. The initial charges against Haydon alleged that he raped the 2 girls and a young boy. In exchange for Haydon's guilty plea, prosecutors will recommend a sentence of 30 years to the Montana State Prison with 20 years suspended. A proposal by the Trump administration would deliver food directly to food stamp recipients. That could impact about 120,000 people right here in Montana. The USDA's America's Harvest Box would be sent to each home filled with staples like milk, fruit, grains, meat, and pasta. Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue says all of the food in the box is produced in the U.S. The Trump administration claims the program would save nearly $130 billion over 10 years. Consumer advocates fear the food boxes reduce choice and that some families could have difficulty receiving them. Critics also doubt the government would save much money by purchasing and distributing food on its own.
In Montana, especially in rural communities, the idea that we're going to get food boxes every month to SNAP households, it just doesn't make sense. We need to use the infrastructure that's in place, and that infrastructure is grocery stores. It makes far more sense for individuals to be able to go to their local grocery store, to bring those federal dollars into local economies and spend them at retailers that already exist.
Food stamp recipients would still get about half of their monthly benefit on an electronic card that can be used at local grocery stores. About 2/3 of Montana's food stamp recipients are children, seniors, and individuals with disabilities. If you need to save someone's life, would you be ready? Billings Clinic hopes to make that answer yes by offering classes for the annual CPR Saturday.
If you haven't had the correct training and haven't practiced it, you may not be doing it as effectively as possible. So in a relatively short amount of time, we'll be able to teach you the correct techniques, let you practice on typically adults, children, and infants. We have 3 different sets of mannequins. So people will come out of there typically feeling very confident in their ability to provide CPR if it were to be necessary.
The free classes happen throughout the day this coming Saturday from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. In addition to CPR training this year, the public can also attend bleeding control courses to help teach people how to stop bleeding while they wait for paramedics. The CPR classes take a few hours, while the bleeding control classes takes about 45 minutes. You can register at the event, but you are encouraged to register in advance, and you can find the link to do that on our website, ktvq.com. It's one of the most prestigious clubs in the state, 4-time state wrestling champion. Billings Senior's Charlie Kleps has spent the last 13 years working to become that club's newest member. For the last few months, Q2's Brandon Sullivan has been following Charlie's final season and his pursuit of 4. Here's a peek.
Wrestling fans, here they are.
I know how stressed I am about it, so I can't imagine how stressed he is about it. And I think it'd be nice if he wasn't the only one who was possibly going for 4, because that would take away a little bit of the pressure of that.
I've always said to him, listen, everybody's going to think you're a great wrestler whether you win 4 in a row or not. So, you've already established that you've become a great wrestler. So, do you have to win 4 to prove it? I don't think so.
Let's go. Hey, love you boys. Let's go. Bronx on 30. 1, 2, 3. Bronx!
Be sure to join us tonight at 5:30 for an in-depth look at Charlie's journey as our Brandon Sullivan shows us what it takes to make a champion.